Welcome back to the Two Ton Money Super 1 British Karting Championships. It's Jnr X30 up next. Joining me is a young man who had a little chat with me in the car park at round one after the first two heats of the season. You were on fire then, and you did say to me that I'd picked Reggie Dewey for the championship, but it looked like you could be taking it down. But since then, it's pretty much not gone your way, apart from 2 weeks ago. What did you win 2 weeks ago?
Well, I won the British O Plate, so that was good, I guess. It was a surprise win. Came from 25th on the grid, and just picked my way through and won it. So.
Yeah, so you've got the O Plate. That denotes you as the British Open champion for this season. This, of course, is the British Championship, so this is a series, whereas that's a one weekend event. More difficult to win a one weekend event, do you think?
I think you have less chance to make mistakes, and well, except from that weekend where we come from the back, but. Yeah, I think with the Super 1, if you make a mistake, you have a drop round, and or two. Is it 2 drop rounds?
No, you've got one drop round.
Oh well.
I know you'd like to.
I'd like to, yeah. But yeah, I think it is a bit more difficult, really.
And how are you finding Rowrah? Have you done much here before?
I think I did a race here last year in LGM, and then when I was about 9 in Super 1 in my first season. Other than that, I've done nothing. I've done like maybe about 2 days here of like dry running, so this is kind of fresh for us.
So how's it going so far this weekend?
Yeah, we've had 2 fifths in heats, which puts us on 3rd for the final. So hopefully we can pick our way through and maybe get a win.
So you've got the pre-final still to go. Obviously where you finish that pre-final will determine your grid position for the final. But good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
Riding the crest of the wave, Axel Flam on pole position for this one alongside Lewis Gilbert, Reggie Dewey and Luke Whitehead on the second row from Ravenscroft and Gray, McQueen, Heading, Lloyd and Sherenetti in the top 10. Then it is Dragon Pinson and Oliver Behrman from Radican, Hunt, King and Edgar, Reed, Lee, Mills and McKean. It's going to be a really interesting battle, this one, as drivers will battle for supremacy. Lewis Thompson is out of position outside the top 20 as well. He'll want to charge forward. Here we go, and Axel Flam goes straight into the lead. What a start from Reggie Dewey! Puts himself straight in a second position. That's more like it. Reggie Dewey's had a frustrating start to his season, but that's the Reggie Dewey we know. Straight in a second position as they go through to McIntyre's. Now he's having to defend round the outside because there is Lewis Gilbert. What a defensive move from Dewey there on the outside of McGrace. Sideways under braking as Dewey gets himself. We got a spinner halfway down the back straight there as well, as the field tries to muscle their way through. Now that is the 57, I think that is. That's Sam Heading. That's Sam Heading, who was right up at the sharp end. So big problem for Heading. He's got a lot of work to make up. But what a start to the race for Reggie Dewey, who pops himself in front of the 2 men who are leading their Jnr X30 European Championship campaigns. Gilbert in 3rd, who's leading the juniors. Ravenscroft in 4th, who's leading the seniors.
Lots of quality in this race. Lots of quality, obviously, in the championship. And Axel Flam, as you say, Jake, riding the crest of the wave from that British Open Championship win a few weeks ago, and good to see him out front here. But he is going to come under pressure from Dewey. Dewey is an absolute expert in the wet conditions. Lewis Gilbert in 3rd place, and as you say, Jake, Clayton Ravenscroft leading the Senior European Championships. We've got to change for a second of week, not
no,
quite.
It's not. Look at the way Dewey does that. On the outside line, he's just got so much grip. He lets Gilbert come to the inside going, well, no, that's the obvious place to go for the move, mate. But he's just got so much grip. He drives right around the outside. Reggie Dewey in fine form here at Rowrah. And Gilbert and Ravenscroft are struggling to find an answer to him at the moment. But Reggie's not interested in them. He wants the lead.
We've got a big train of almost 12 carts, almost snaking down the bottom of the circuit. Look right.
Here goes Dewey. Dewey makes the move up over the curbs, and that's beautifully done. Meanwhile, further back, Alex Lloyd's having a bit of a battle trying to get past Oliver Gray. And now Axel Flam coming straight back on Dewey. Dewey's got superior grip on the outside. He leads. The Cato Motorsport driver up in front now, having a great run. Alex Lloyd is now in the mix of this somewhere. There's his details on the bottom of your screen. He was 21st in the pre-final, or started 21st in the pre-final, I should say. Came through to 9th. So keep an eye on Lloyd. Reggie Dewey on the outside line. It's like watching a slot car.
Yeah, he's got the KMS graphics on that kart, but this weekend, Jake, he's running back as he used to, just pretty much dad and lad with Derek Morgan as well, who's doing the engines for him, so they're back in their own little awning, so little privateer setup back to this weekend, and it seems to suit Reggie.
Look at him, he's gone. He's disappearing. And how on earth is he getting away that quickly? Laflamme is struggling to keep up with Gilbert. Gilbert's going to make the move for the lead. Oh, no, he's not. Well, for second position, lead of this train, I should say. Gilbert, he was looking for that move, wasn't he? Now Ravenscroft is going to make a move past his Scottish teammate, the man from Rowrah, who's still there around the outside. Ravenscroft is going to slot through in a third position. Now these two, they get on so well, these two. They're really good teammates. They've only just joined up at the beginning of the season, and ever since they have been, assisting each other in their sister European campaigns, as it were. One's in juniors, one's in seniors, such is the nature of the European rules. Ravenscroft's old enough and eligible for seniors, but not for juniors. How does that work? I don't know. But they're able to assist each other really, really well. They get each other very, very easily. They've battled a few times this season, but they get on like a house on fire, so they can work together to push after Axel Laflamme.
So Dragon Penson third in the championship, now running in 8th. You're talking about Clayton Ravenscroft there, Jake. They are teammates, they are good friends, as you know. But on the track, Ravenscroft sees his teammate make a slight mistake, and he is on it straight away, pounces and takes advantage. And they may be friends, but they're not friends on the track. Ravenscroft wants to finish in front of his teammate, that's for sure. And you see the KMS principle there, whoever that is from the team KMS, you shouldn't be giving signals, my friend. We caught that.
Yes, I'm
You're
afraid.
not allowed to give signals to your drivers.
That's right.
We just caught that.
Since the beginning of 2017, signalling to your driver was outlawed in Super 1. It's no longer permitted. So that is something that if that's picked up by the stewards, then, well, that's something that needs to be investigated, because I know that
if they know which driver he's signalling, and that's a bit difficult, obviously, they would black flag the driver.
Yeah,
as simple as that. So you've got to be careful, guys, if you are signalling your drivers, and you never know, the officials might decide that you're signalling one of your drivers. It may not be that one, but they may just give him a black flag anyway.
Right, now this is a game we're going to play mid-race now called Spot the Nassau, because I've suddenly started realising a few drivers, including there the 52, Tom Edgar, you can see him, he's got that new OTK-style Nassau panel with that massive groove up the inside that makes the whole nose section look like a hot dog bun. There's a few people who use it, a few who don't, and there are others who use it just because other teams are using it. You can definitely tell the difference. Look, there's one. It's got that massive groove that looks like you could fit a Frankfurter up the middle of it. Now, they do say it does improve stability in a traffic jam, but a lot of drivers I've spoken to have said, well, it's great on an OK, it's great on a KZ, we're not seeing the benefits yet in X30, but there are some people who swear by it and say it's absolutely brilliant. What's your thoughts on this, Alan? It looks very strange.
It's an absolute load of rubbish, Jake, quite frankly.
I can rely on you for the James Hunt opinion.
I just don't think the karts are going fast enough to make, as some people have suggested, half a second difference.
Big mistake from Laflamme! That's a big mistake from Laflamme. Ravenscroft's going to get through. Gilbert's going to go through as well. That's a disaster for Laflamme. He just locked up, and when the back end comes across that sideways, he manages to save it from a spin, but that's a big mistake. Yeah,
under pressure from Whitehead now as well. We saw Rufus Hunt earlier in the piece making up places as well, Jake, on the 11 kart. It's good to see Rufus on the move as they come snaking through the turn 1, the chicane, bus stop, if you prefer to call it that. These are the leading drivers, but Dewey's got a comfortable lead now, hasn't he?
He's pulling away. Alex Lloyd, meanwhile, in 6th position, is closing in on these guys. This is a good drive from Luke Whitehead as well. We haven't spoken about him much in the 2018 season, but Whitehead is definitely making a big name for himself in 2018. He's running at the front of the pack. He's doing a good job, and he's asserting himself with a lot of confidence. He's got a much more comfortable stance this year. He's a much more in tune driver in 2018. He made a couple of mistakes last year, perhaps, that he shouldn't have done in his position, but he's much stronger in 2018. Whitehead is definitely one to keep an eye on. He's hanging on there in behind Axel Laflamme, and look, Laflamme is vulnerable. The 2KR Sport karts, they're disappearing.
Yeah, Whitehead will feel that Laflamme is holding him up here and will look for the move, probably in the bottom hairpin.
Wait a second, I've just spotted who's in 7th. That's Lewis Thompson. Thompson was outside the top 20.
Started 25, didn't he?
He
He's
did.
Up 18 places,
He's
I
in
think.
seventh.
Yeah, he is 18 places.
Seventh behind Alex Lloyd. That is absolutely astonishing. And we've still got just under 5 minutes plus the additional lap to go. Thompson has been absolutely on fire on the Jade Racing car.
Yeah, we've got Hudson and Pritchard Williams as well down in 15th and 16th. They've made up 11 places, each of them.
Look at the Flam, he's really struggling for grip. That's where he's holding these guys up. He managed to get away from them a little bit on the exit of Iredale's. McQueen is in 8th, Hunt is 9th, from Behrman, Pinson way down in 11th. He's having a nightmare weekend by his standards. King, Gray, Edgar, Hudson, Pritchard Williams, Stevenson, Reed, and the leading rookie is Alex Lay. But this is a very interesting run for him and a difficult one for the man behind him as well, Josh Rattigan,
yes,
who 2018 is having a nightmare.
Yeah, he is, unfortunately for Josh, but he's recovering from that serious injury last year, of course. The lead at the moment, let's keep an eye on it, 1.59 seconds Reggie Dewey has over Clayton Ravenscroft, and then 2.18 back to Lewis Gilbert there in 3rd place. Further down the field, we've got 4 rookies in their own race, of course, and it's Alex Lay who leads that race.
Oh, a bit of a nudge as Tom Edgar finds the space on Oliver Gray, and I'm not sure what Oliver's going to think about that one, but there Tom Edgar goes. Just a little tiny nudge. I mean, they're going to argue Rubbing's racing, but it's not supposed to be in karting, is it? Let's be fair.
Don't forget, guys, if you're new to karting, these front nose cones, if they do run into something, the nose cone will push back on the bracket, and if it ends up being pushed back, that's an automatic 10-second penalty. The scrutineers check all the bumpers when they come in, and that car there, it looks like it's pretty low, that nose cone on the, is that the 48? It's Alex Lloyd, isn't it? Let's have a look.
It's looking a bit low.
No, I think that's okay, actually.
No, yeah, he'll be all right with that.
That's okay.
But this is an interesting battle, and you were talking about that. You know, it's a controversial ruling, the front nose fairing, and we've seen a lot of incidents over in Europe when drivers have thought, right, we can get away with this, and they've started, certainly in the CIK FIA European Championships, we had Lorenzo Travasanuto win a dominant race at PF and then started nudging the nose cone out again on the front of his car, was excluded straight away because you're not allowed to do it.
You're not allowed to do that, no. If they see you doing that, that's an automatic exclusion.
So it's a very tricky situation. Obviously, there's a lot of people who have had a lot of contention about this ruling, saying it's not good for racing. Others say it has improved racing, but people are abusing it, and it's a difficult rule to really counter.
Think about this track. We always used to get loading up through this first turn here into the chicane at the start of every race. We'd get people turned around in the chicane. We've only seen one driver caught out this weekend, and that is because of the front nose cones. All right, I hear that people argue that, oh, he's brake checking me and making me run into the back of him so he pushes my nose cone back. But, you know, and that's like Luke Whitehead losing a place there running wide, and Alex Lloyd takes advantage straight away. I hear that argument, but I think on balance, it's been a positive. The nose cones have been a positive. Listen, the 10-second, we saw somebody win here, didn't we? Was it last year, year before?
Yes,
I think it was last year. We saw somebody win, led the race from start to finish, never run into the back of anybody. Obviously, you can see they've got these curbs, they're quite high, the curbs, must have clipped a curb and knocked the nose cone back. Got a 10-second penalty when he led from lights to flag. And we don't want to see that, obviously, that's not what it's intended for, but at the moment, as I understand it, there is still no leeway for the officials to say, yeah, OK, we understand there's a bit of an issue there, and we won't issue the 10-second penalty. At the moment, it's a 10-second automatic penalty if your nose cone's pushed back on the bracket.
That's the difficulty, because when you start giving leeway to one driver on one incident, I mean, where do you draw the line?
Yeah,
it's a difficulty.
That's the argument. But I think, you know, to be honest, I would like to see a bit of common sense where it's clear and obvious.
Dragon Pinson trying his best to get further up the field. He's got Rufus Hunt in front of him, who is, I have to say, as good a commentator as he is a racing driver. He sat in the commentary box with me at Marienburg in Europe. He's not bad, actually. I might get him to do it again one day.
Yeah, good.
But Rufus Hunt having a difficult season by what he wanted to get out of it, but he's doing much better here at Rowrah. He seems to be much more in control of things, which is good to see. And having a good little tussle there as Dragon Pinson desperately trying to keep things on the road. And no wonder he's got Nelson King and Tom Edgar breathing down his neck. Reggie Dewey, though, out in front of Clayton Ravenscroft, who I have to say, though, is definitely catching him.
Alex Lloyd in 5th place. He's made up 4 places in this race, but I think was down, I'm sure where he started the pre-final. I think we saw the graphic earlier. Was in something like 21st place and made his way up to 9th, and I know his mum was doing a rain dance earlier. She thought the rain was the key, because I think in one of the qualified practice yesterday in the rain, he was faster than seniors. If you took all his fastest sector times, he would have beaten the seniors in a junior kart in the wet.
Look how close Ravenscroft's got to Reggie Dewey. Reggie's not got this race won yet by any means. In fact, we're about to go into the last lap. We've run out of time, so Ravenscroft's all over him, and now Reggie Dewey knows he's there, and he will know that this is Clayton Ravenscroft in 2018, a formidable fighting force. In Super 1, he is lightning. In Europe, he is lightning. He is the Nigel Mansell of British karting at the moment. He is a towerhouse of strength, but this man, Reggie Dewey, has absolute concrete ability in the wet here. He can keep this car planted to every apex and even run around the outside. Even if Ravenscroft were to get a run on the inside, it would take a really bold move to stop Reggie Dewey winning this.
Never won Reggie Dewey at this level, never won at the British Championship level before. He'll be desperate to hold on to this in the last lap.
Ravenscroft is very close indeed, and he knows where Dewey is vulnerable. He's going to go for it. Does he? No, he's not. Dewey shuts the door. That was a little bit too early, and now Ravenscroft's going to have to come from a long way back to see if he can get him in the final turn. Dewey's going to hang on. Beautiful braking from Dewey. He controls that inside line, and Reggie Dewey is going to get there, and it means so much to him when he comes across the line. Superb effort from Reggie Dewey. That was worth every second.
There was some drama after the race, though, when Reggie Dewey was excluded for a technicality. Now, that exclusion, however, is not reflected in the official results, so it's still Reggie Dewey that's held on to the win, and he's retained his championship points. That is all under appeal. After the race, Reggie not available because he was in the office. I spoke to the championship leader. Clayton, you're somebody that's winning at British level, European level. I've no doubt you're going to be winning at world level very soon. Difficult conditions today, though?
Yeah, very difficult conditions. It was dry throughout the morning and then rain throughout the middle of the day. Made it a bit more interesting in the final, but we had really strong pace and we brought it back to the front at the end.
Who do you want to thank for your weekend?
I'd like to thank Cream for amazing engines. I'd like to thank KR for all the support all weekend and the great setup in the final. And I'd like to thank my dad, especially as it's Father's Day, for always being the best mechanic.
After round 5, the official championship points for Jnr X30 looked like this, with Ravenscroft leading it from Gilbert, Pinsent, Whitehead and Serenetti rounding out the top 5.